Hello, beautiful people out there.
Hello.
This is Shannon and my little sister Grace, and we're here to talk about what does your body know?
And what it's been whispering to you.
So Grace and I are very familiar with the Access body processes. We've grown up with the Access tools to a large degree and use them in our own lives, on our bodies. We facilitate the Access facelift specialty class and other
Body
stuff.
classes.
And there we go, the body classes. In fact, you just finished an advanced body class in Houston.
I did. It was so cool. And the month before, I did a 3-day body class in Houston. So it was really interesting to do them back to back.
Tell us more.
I mean, I did the 3-day body with Dad as well, and it's always cool to do it with him because he never does them. Like, it's the second one he's done in the last decade, maybe.
Right.
And having so many new people, we had
beautiful
40 or so that had never done a body class.
Awesome. Wow.
That was really fun. Like, seeing how much they got out of it, how excited they were, perceiving just what was going on with their bodies was really cool.
That actually brings me to an awareness of what does my body know, because so Gary and Grace just co-facilitated the advanced body class in Houston last weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're pre-recording this for you guys. Not totally sure when it's going to air, but in past time, it was on
December.
It was December. It was like the second weekend in December.
Yeah.
So Monday morning this week, I woke up super, super dizzy. And I was dizzy all day. And I've actually been quite dizzy the days that have followed. And my initial response was sort of like, oh, I don't really like this feeling. I want this to stop, da, 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 da. And I kept on being like, what is this? Body, what are you trying to tell me? Body, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what is this? And then I kept remembering. And then, no, actually, sorry. It was today I went, wait a minute. Was this the ABC?
It was a really cool ABC. I think also because Dain and Simone were both in the class.
Oh.
So it was like cool to have, other facilitators that have been doing Access classes for longer than I have.
Yeah.
But been doing Access not as long as I have. But having just, it's always different when people that are facilitating constantly, like, going to a class finally, it always is nice to get them to receive and be able to contribute to them, I guess. It was just a very interesting class.
And it creates so much more transformation when you've got really a lot of people who are willing to receive with bodies and sort of know a lot about consciousness with bodies.
Exactly. It's nice. It creates, as the facilitator doing it, it creates this flow that's really cool in the class, because everyone gets invited to this huge different space. Not just me, not just the other facilitators, but the whole class does.
Well, and apparently even people like me who are sleeping on the other side of the planet,
But always connected.
And I didn't even know that Dain and Simone were there. So that sort of informs me a lot more that my body was really tapped into the change.
Mm-hmm.
And some people listening to this might think, oh, dizzy, that's bad, that's wrong. However, if you've been on the path of consciousness for any period of time, you will become very familiar with these moments of transformation, or these periods of transformation that are accompanied by what we call dizziness.
It's not always comfortable. Change is great and magical, and it's not always comfortable.
Right. And our dad's always like, people bring this up a lot because dizziness is like a kind of a
wrongness.
Well, it's also something that people experience a lot when their whole world transforms.
Yeah.
So I kept reminding myself, I was like, cool, okay, wow, how much is changing right now? And it was like my body did give me the information of the transformation facilitated by the ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, honestly, I probably wouldn't have even thought about it. And
Right.
It was my body being like, wow, the universe is really changing. And I'm like, what is this? And then finally I was like, wait, is this the ABC? Dizziness completely stopped.
Amazing.
So that's a great example of getting to what my body knew that my mind didn't get at all.
Right. That you wouldn't necessarily connect even because you're far away and like you
Well, there's a
didn't
million
come to
reasons.
class this year.
Yeah. Because we're not taught that bodies are conscious, or if we do start, if you are somebody that does get that the body has an intelligence or has a consciousness, I think the really cool question is sort of like, okay, so what if what our bodies are capable of, what our bodies know, and what if that's so completely outside the definition of what we've ever been taught or seen?
I mean, it is. Maybe not necessarily for you or me, but it's when you talk to people that come to their first body class or even come to Facelift and have never done any other body processes, the experience that they have is so interesting. It's so different. It's so expansive and like special. I don't know.
So if you're listening to this and you've never experienced any of the Access bodywork, so Access Consciousness is a mega toolbox that has tools for addressing everything really. And there's a whole bunch of body specialty tools and the hands-on body processes, which the facelift, the bars are part of. And they're called hands-on because a lot of what we do in Access is processing the energy, our thoughts, clearing points of view and decisions that create limitation. But the interesting thing I believe about the body processes is that it actually requires you to be with a body and actually touch other bodies and have your body touched.
And not talk.
Yeah. Oh, and sleep, or just completely sleep.
Basically, sometimes people do sleep, and I mean, and they get up from the table and it's like a whole new body. It's so cool to watch.
And when Grace has a whole new body, it's like I could really attest to that in that like I've had when sometimes after getting a body process, my whole attitude towards things that you never would expect the body's consciousness to have an influence on, like paying the bills or making that phone call you've been avoiding. Like I'll get up from a body process sometimes and it'll just be like all of the resistance and difficulty in a certain areas is like gone.
It's so nice. It's really awesome. Like to use your body to contribute is amazing. And we don't do that.
To use your body to contribute. That's such an interesting way of looking at it, even because I was even thinking like to recognize that your body can be a source of transforming reality.
Yeah.
But then I love the way you're looking at it, where you actually recognize that your body can be a contribution to your entire life, not just something you feed and medicate, you know? Yeah.
Push through life.
So could you talk a little bit about any story that you think is worth sharing about a process that you've been through about receiving your body's contribution or accessing that more?
Well, this morning I was on a Zoom with India and
as you do.
Someone asked about my experience giving birth. And I think that was one of the most concrete examples I could actually think of with how much the body processes contributed to my body, but also how I had to really trust my body and just know that like it knew what to do. And I'm really grateful that I could go into both of the experiences I had with birth and know that like that my body was made for this. And that like I think I walked away feeling very empowered. I mean, you were at Grayson's birth and it was intense, but like we had dinner after with with our family and like.
Yeah. I mean, I like to brag. My sister had her second baby in her bathtub in her New York City apartment, and you had your first child as well in a natural birthing center in a pool. So it's like mad props. Like our mom also delivered 3 children without drugs, like in a natural thing, which I mean, I'm not trying to say that not doing that is wrong. I'm really
But
proud.
it was empowering for me because I was young when I had Xander and I didn't necessarily have this like my body's a rock star point of view, but after I was like, I can fucking do anything. And I am like going to do anything. And it just changed my whole reality.
So that's cool. So that's your body really getting like showing like, yeah, contributing to another possibility.
Yeah. And like you were saying with paying bills and all of it, I do think that if we include our body in like asking it to contribute, making it easier on us, whatever the thing is that you do, it really does make things better and bigger.
Yeah. So any of you guys that are listening to this, that's like sort of caught your attention at all, one of the ways you could apply that is in the weird, you could really like tailor this to your own interests and needs and desires. But it's like, even if it's about paying a bill or you're sick, right? Your body's sick or going through something, like it could be body stuff, but it could also be non-related body stuff. Starting to bring in the question like, okay, so body, what do you know? How could you contribute to what's possible here? Could you show me what's possible?
I love that. I think it's really the difference between other modalities and what we teach in Access.
And it's such a cool creative, because that's really being creative with your living.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many people ask their bodies to contribute to paying bills,
No one.
And add on to that asking like, okay, so body, like, what do you know? Like, what could you contribute? Is that what follows? Try not to have any expectation.
Yeah.
That's the key, is to really ask and then let your body show you what you might not even be able to imagine is possible yet.
Right.
And that's what's the fun part of consciousness. That's the magical journey of like, oh, this is like, because a lot of our, I'll speak for the mass population. It's like, how many of you guys have experienced your body in a painful way, where the body's difficult, the body's heavy, the body hurts? So in Access, we talk about that your body's aware. What if every pain, sickness that you're experiencing is a capacity that your body has that you've never been taught?
And that you've been ignoring, so that your body has to be so loud that you can't escape it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a crucial part. And if the world was full of happy bodies and people who trusted their body, listened to the body, included the body, what would that world feel like and be like? And how do we get to that world? Well, it starts with you and your magical body.
Yeah.
Can one body make a difference?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Every time you include your body in anything, in what it's eating, in what it's wearing, in what movement it wants to do, you're creating that space for other people to actually have that too, and other bodies to recognize it for you. And that's what creates like the ripple effect of choice and change.
Absolutely. I love that. And the ripple effect. And that's due to like oneness. Like all energy is interconnected. We're not actually living in these bodies that are islands that are disconnected from everything and everyone. This is not a woo-woo point of view. This is all science-based. Like energy is interconnected. Your body, the energy that builds your body is the energy that builds my sister's body, that builds the floor, the ceiling, the sun. It's all connected. So to pretend that your body is separate and alone is false. And what Grace was indicating about every time that I think, how did you just say it? You said, you didn't say, maybe you did say include your body in like what you eat, what you wear, how it moves. Every time you listen to the body, it's a vote for bettering that relationship. I had in the last like 6-7 months, I've gotten really committed to getting 10,000 steps a day. And it was just like an experiment. I'm always trying different things, and if it works for my body, great. And if I need to modify, great. And if it doesn't work for me, I leave it behind and I stay in the question. But the 10,000 steps per day thing has been one of the easiest interventions I have ever found that makes my body feel so much better. But the last couple of days, the weather has just been horrible in England, and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't really wanna." And it's dark by 4, so I'm like, it's okay. I'll just, like, not get the steps in." And my sleeping has been affected hugely, and my body basically told me in the night, like, "Look, like, I'd rather get the steps in. I'm okay to get cold and wet, just get those steps in, everything works so much better." So I'm like, "I hear you, body, like, that 10,000 steps, it's such an easy thing to do for me personally that just improves my body's experience of living." And that I've known now I've found that out for me.
Right.
Like, my body knows that, which is important because we live in a world where everyone's constantly telling everybody what is should be true for their body.
And how, like, what's the best way to do certain things.
Because what works for Grace's body won't be the same as what works for my body and vice versa. We all actually have a unique body.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do love walking, but I also, like, I've been into, like, lifting weights and doing stuff like that. And, like, it kind
Yeah,
of
exactly.
changes, too, all the time.
And it changes all the time, and it's so I, like, have this, this, like, fantasy that, like, all of the fitness influencers and everybody who's educating, good or bad, about bodies out in the world started all of their material with, "What does your body know?"
Yeah. What's funny is that it's kind of a little bit more mainstream now,
True.
where, like, people will say, like, do what works for your body, or sort of they start talking about it, but it's different. It's not really from that point of view of anything is
Yeah.
possible.
And if you're one of those people that has, like, a natural, easy relationship with your body, like, I'm so envious of you because I would say that hasn't been I've had to really prioritize my body and build that trusting relationship because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really that hasn't been a natural place for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, wherever you are with your body right now, whether you love having a body or you really don't love having a body, this is where the access body processes and the tools of access play a huge part in contributing to that transformation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You've got to look at, like, has is adoring your body, trusting your body, being grateful for bodies, is that a popular attitude?
No, I think most people do. Maybe they do that all. They adore bodies, but from a judgment. There's not. It really, like. I think the best I've ever felt was when I didn't judge my body. That's when, like, my body changed so much, and when I started seeing the potency of it, the power of it, the way that it can change anything, and change it, like, let it change so fast. But as soon as you
Hmm.
start judging it, as soon as you start limiting, as soon as you take a point of view, it just all sort of stops.
So I think that's, like, the big meat and potatoes of this conversation that, like, can you get to what your body knows? Can you let your body be a contribution while you're simultaneously judging?
Nope.
No.
Can't.
So then what if the, like, embodiment journey becomes or what if the commitment becomes like, okay, whatever it takes, I'm just gonna even be honest with myself if I'm judging my
Mm-hmm.
body or judging bodies, because maybe that's just the first step for people. Stopping altogether might be a bigger leap,
Right.
but even just recognizing there is a judgment is a great first step.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of the first step.
So then what if people do recognize there's judgment, theirs or someone else's around bodies, any tips for what people can do with that awareness?
Ask who it belongs to first. That's, like, the first tool you learn in Access. Who does this belong to? Um, when you're growing up, I know we talk about it all the time. You take on judgments from other people around you. So, did you buy the judgment from your mom? Did she buy it from her mom? Where did it come from? And can you let go of it? So, in an Access class, we'll ask you to, like, clear it. Use the clearing
Yeah.
statement. Um, What else? What would you do, Shani?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like, who does this belong to? But ultimately, who does this belong to? I believe that all of the tools in Access are essentially designed to get you to choose. And if you know you're judging, then you know you can also not judge. Like, there is always a choice, and how you choose to think is 100% within your power. Like, that is the one thing you have total supremacy over, is how you think.
Absolutely.
But one of the big things that you have to include in that grand statement is that you're not just thinking your thoughts. We're all connected. You are aware. Your body's aware and you are aware. And what Grace was saying about who does this belong to is the beginning of recognizing that you're aware of other people's stuff. Mm-hmm. And the depth of that awareness is I'm still having getting to profound vistas of awareness of that interconnectedness. So judgment is popular, but not essential.
Yes. Also, judgment is, like, we talk a lot about going outside of our limitations. Our judgments are what keep us in the limitations. So as soon as you start choosing something different and not judging and just going with interesting point of view or just not judging, you actually have so much more available to you and you have more choice. As Shannon was saying, you can actually choose something different.
And I believe that choosing not to judge is harder than lifting heavy weights. It's like harder than going on a big diet. It's harder than, I want to put that in perspective, because it's not like I'm trying to be like, it's so hard. What I'm actually trying to indicate is, if you find that it's almost impossible to stop judging, we get it. Like, judgment is so everywhere and you're picking up on it all the time. And I'm assuming that most of the people listening to this are adults at this point. By the time you get into adulthood, you've developed your way of thinking really dynamically. So when you get to this point of like really wanting something with your body to be different and not coming from if it doesn't have to come from force and judgment and violence, which is what most people are doing to bodies for change, what if it could come from, dare I say, kindness, allowance, trust,
joy,
vulnerability, presence. Oh, allowance. I love that tool with bodies. Because Grace and I have both facilitated for a lot of years. We facilitated a lot of body stuff. Grace and I said this in the beginning, I think Grace and I facilitate the facelift trainings. The facelift is one of the specific body processes. And a lot of what we get is people coming who are there because they don't think they look right. And they're trying to change something about their appearance. Sorry, I had a bigger, more profound point about that. Allowance. Yes. And it's like, if you use the tools of consciousness on top of judgment, you really don't get the gold. Mm-mm. But if you can learn to be an allowance of how the body wants to be, and let the body processes lift the megaton of judgment that you've been carrying, choosing, smushing your face into, wow, do people look different? It's like Grace said, if you guys recall or don't, quite about 15 minutes ago, she was talking about seeing people get off the table at the advanced body class and the other body classes and just seeing how different they look. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get up and I'm like, has she been in class the whole weekend?
Exactly. And so you have to look at, okay, so what changed there?
Yeah.
Energy transformed. They didn't get a facelift. They didn't get liposuction. They didn't lose 10 years off their age. Their judgments changed. Mm-hmm. And the body presents differently when you're not suppressing it with points of view and judgments. Yeah.
It's magical. Our bodies are amazing. When I was potty training Xander, there was this song that was like, my body is amazing. And it had like sign language that went with it. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. My body is amazing, amazing, amazing.
I love now that that's going to be my association with potty time. My body is amazing.
It was
amazing.
literally called potty time.
No, I wish we could like share that with the link. I wish we could like share that. Was it like is it on YouTube or anything?
I'm sure I can find it. It's potty time is like the thing, and it's called My Body is Amazing.
Oh, I'm totally going to look for that.
But I'm like, if everyone started our lives like that, like as little kids, I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say too, like it seems too that there is a lot. I just even look at like what our kids have as their schooling and their reality and what's possible for them now comparatively to even us, which wasn't really that long ago, but it's totally different.
Totally different. I think our kids are also like, even though we had access growing up, and like I was like 6, 5 when Dad started. I think my kids at least have, and I think your kids do too, they have like so much more joy with their bodies and ease with their bodies and like
100%.
zero point of view, and like it's just it's a different world.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes I'm like, I actually have to learn. I do this thing where I'm like, okay, and I like watch how they handle something with food or how they function with something with their bodies, and I'm like, oh, I'd like that. Okay, so what energy is what universe is that coming from for them? And I like learn it.
Yeah. They teach you so much if you're willing to receive from your kids.
And from everything.
Yeah.
Because our bodies are natural organisms. And what I mean by that is they're made from the same stuff as the earth, literally. That's also not, I'm not like going like all woo right now. Like this is the fact. Your body is literally made of the same materials as the earth and the stars. You only have a body because you live on this planet.
Yes.
So the more willing to be
in connection
with nature. I guess that's a great like hot tip, like connect with nature. And so how do you connect with nature?
You can literally you can be inside and connect with nature. I'm connected to my land, even when I'm not home.
But you have like a magical body, Grace.
Yeah, so do you.
So, one of the things I really like to point out when I'm talking about like connecting to nature or getting like into the body is you have to like be honest with yourself about if you spend the majority of your time like out in your mind, like thinking, like disembodied, or if like, you're like a big mind dragging a abandoned body around, or if you're actually in your body, like from your neck down. The more you think, the less embodied you are.
Yep.
So how can you function if you don't think?
You just have to learn to know.
Knowing. And now we come full circle. What does your body know?
Exactly.
So hot tips from Grace and Shanny.
Hopefully you use some of them.
Yeah, and that's like this is taken like getting to this conversation. It's like it's so easy to talk about this stuff, but to really put it into practice, like it's so life transforming. And I'm 25 years down the road of implementing this stuff and learning to trust my body and committing to no matter what, I will not make my body wrong about this.
Yep. And it is work. Like you don't just, it's not necessarily, one day I think it does become kind of second nature. But
exactly.
You do have to work at it. And sometimes I like you and I talk and we'll be like, what's going on? And
exactly. And that's like, that's those the consciousness buddies who can contribute to you getting to your knowing faster.
And contribute to you. I keep using the word contribute today, but just contribute to you with no judgment. Gift to you, ask you a question, have no judgment of you. That's really like the ideal.
And that really starts with you. So to be that for another, you have to be that for you first. And in my opinion, that's really like the blessing of life is getting to be there for you, getting to know you, getting to be you.
I think there's a song that sort of goes that way.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Exactly. Okay.
Well, we hope you guys have enjoyed this journey down Talky Talk Lane.
Walkie Talk Lane. Thank you guys. Thanks,
We look
Shanny.
forward. Thank you, Gracie Face. We look forward to getting to play with any of you who show up to any class that we're at around the world.
Yep.
Yeah. And please know, you're not alone. We love you. We trust your body.
Even if you don't, we do.
Even if you don't. How's it get better than this? Bye, guys.
Bye.